She thought running halfway across the world would be enough to escape the monster who called himself her husband. But when Marcus Hill tracked Jasmine and her traumatized 7-year-old daughter to the neon-lit streets of Seoul, desperation forced her into the arms of the most dangerous man in the city. Yoon Seo-jin, wheelchair-bound Korean mafia boss with blood on his hands and ghosts in his heart, offered protection that came with a price she never saw coming. What started as a cold business transaction between a desperate mother and a ruthless criminal became something that would either save them all or destroy everything they'd fought to protect. Because when obsession meets redemption in a world where love is the deadliest weapon of all, someone always has to pay. And the bill was about to come due in ways that would shock even the most hardened souls. Subscribe and comment below if you've ever had to choose between safety and your heart, because trust me, this story is about to prove that sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't the enemy hunting you, but the protector you never meant to fall for. The alarm screams at 6:15. Jasmine Carter's eyes snap open to grey morning light, filtering through thin curtains. Her heart pounds before she remembers where she is. The same cramped apartment, the same peeling wallpaper, the same fear that follows her into every new day. "Mommy!" Amara's voice drifts from the other side of their shared bed. Jasmine felt relief wash over her. Her daughter is safe, still here, still breathing quietly in the early morning silence. "Good morning, baby." Jasmine sits up and smooths Amara's dark hair. Time to get ready for school. Amara nods, but doesn't speak. She hasn't spoken much since they left Marcus 6 months ago. The doctor said trauma affects children differently. Some cry, some rage, some disappear inside themselves. Jasmine felt helpless every time she looked at her daughter's silent face. The shower runs cold after 3 minutes. Jasmine hurries through washing her hair while Amara sits on the bathroom floor. She draws circles on the foggy mirror with her small finger. "What do you want for breakfast?" Jasmine asks. Amara points to the cabinet where they keep the cereal. "Cereal it is." Jasmine felt the familiar ache in her chest. Other mothers hear their children's voices. Other mothers know what their children are thinking. She has learned to read Amara's gestures, her expressions, the way she tilts her head when she's confused. They eat breakfast in comfortable silence. Amara swings her legs from the tall kitchen chair. Her school uniform is clean, but faded from too many washings. Jasmine makes a mental note to buy new clothes when her next paycheck comes. The walk to school takes 15 minutes. Jasmine holds Amara's hand and scans every face they pass, every car parked on the street, every shadow between buildings. 6 months of running has taught her to notice everything. "Have a good day," she whispers at the school gate. Amara hugs her tightly, too tightly for a 7-year-old saying goodbye to her mother. Jasmine felt her throat tighten. Amara is afraid too, afraid that one day Jasmine won't be there to pick her up. The coffee shop where Jasmine works sits on a busy corner in Hongdae. The morning rush keeps her hands busy and her mind occupied. She serves businessmen their Americanos, college students their sweet lattes, tourists their complicated orders in broken Korean. Jasmine. Her co-worker Mina leans across the counter during a brief lull. "Someone was asking about you yesterday." Jasmine's breath caught. "What do you mean?" "A man. Well-dressed. He wanted to know your schedule. When you work, when you don't." The coffee cup in Jasmine's hand trembles. She sets it down before it falls. "What did you tell him?" "Nothing." Mina's voice was concerned. "I said I didn't know you, but he seemed persistent." Jasmine felt cold fear spread through her chest. She forces herself to keep working, keep moving, keep pretending everything is normal. The afternoon drags endlessly. Every customer who enters makes her jump. Every phone call makes her hands shake. When 5 o'clock finally arrives, she practically runs to the school. Amara waits by the gate with her teacher, safe, unharmed. Jasmine felt the relief so strongly her knees almost buckle. "Everything okay?" the teacher asks. "Fine. Just running late." They walk home through different streets than usual. Jasmine checks over her shoulder 3 times. A black sedan follows them for 2 blocks before turning away. Probably nothing. Probably her imagination, but probably isn't good enough anymore. Their apartment building has thin walls and creaky floors. Jasmine locks the door behind them, then checks the deadbolt, then pushes a chair against the handle. "Are we hiding again?" Amara asks quietly. Jasmine felt her heart break a little more. Those are the first words Amara has spoken all day. "Just being careful, baby. They eat ramen for dinner because it's cheap and filling." Amara draws pictures while Jasmine does laundry in the small sink. The routine comforts them both. Normal things, safe things, things that belong to their new life. Jasmine tucks Amara into bed at 8:30. She reads 3 stories and sings the lullaby Amara loves, the one about birds flying to somewhere safe. "Big sweet dreams," Jasmine whispers. Amara grabs her hand. "Oh, don't go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here." Jasmine sits in the chair beside their bed until Amara's breathing turns deep and even. Only then does she allow herself to check her phone. No missed calls, no messages, no signs that the life they've built is about to crumble, but the fear remains. It lives in her stomach now, a constant reminder that peace is temporary, that Marcus is still out there, still looking, still angry about the woman and child who dared to leave him. The next morning brings grey skies and cold wind. Jasmine wakes early to the sound of rain against their single window. Amara sleeps peacefully beside her, 7 years old and already carrying scars no child should bear. Jasmine felt anger mix with her fear. Anger at Marcus for doing this to them. Anger at herself for staying so long. Anger at a world that makes women run instead of making dangerous men stop. The walk to school takes longer in the rain. Their shared umbrella does little against the sole wind. Amara's shoes squelch through puddles. Her uniform will be damp all day. "I love you," Jasmine whispers at the school gate. Amara hugs her fiercely, then runs toward the building without looking back, a small gesture of trust. Today might be normal. Today might be safe. Jasmine turns toward the coffee shop and freezes. A man stands across the street, tall, Asian, wearing an expensive suit despite the weather. He watches her with calm, dark eyes. When their gazes meet, he doesn't look away. Jasmine felt her heart hammer against her ribs. She forces herself to walk normally, to breathe, to act as though she hasn't seen him, but every instinct screams at her to run, to grab Amara from school and disappear again. The man follows her for 3 blocks, always half a street behind, never hurrying, never hiding. His presence feels deliberate, calculated, more terrifying than any threat Marcus ever made. At the coffee shop, Jasmine looks back. The man is gone. "You look pale," Mina says when Jasmine arrives. "Didn't sleep well." The same man came by again this morning. Before opening, he waited outside for 20 minutes. Jasmine's breath caught. "Did he say anything?" "No, just watched, then left when I unlocked the door." The morning passes in a blur of anxiety. Every customer makes Jasmine jump. Every shadow outside the window catches her attention. She spills coffee twice, drops a plate of pastries. Her hands won't stop shaking. At noon, her phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "School pickup, 3:15. Be careful." Jasmine stares at the screen until the words blur. Someone knows where Amara goes to school. Someone knows their routine, their schedule, their lives. She calls the school immediately. "This is Jasmine Carter, Amara's mother. I need to change pickup arrangements today. Is everything all right?" "Family emergency. I'm sending my brother to get her. Kim Dae-ho. He'll have identification." Jasmine felt sick lying to the school. But Amara's safety matters more than honesty. At 2:30, she leaves work early, tells Mina she has a doctor's appointment, runs through the rain toward Amara's school. Her heart pounds with every step. The school gate is crowded with parents waiting for pickup. Jasmine scans their faces, searches for threats, for strangers, for anything that doesn't belong. A black car idles across the street, tinted windows, expensive. The same model she noticed yesterday. Amara runs out of the building at exactly 3:15. Jasmine grabs her hand and pulls her away from the gate, away from the waiting parents, away from the black car. "Mommy?" Amara's voice was small. "We're going for a walk." They hurry through side streets toward the subway station. Jasmine doesn't look back until they're underground, safe among the crowds, anonymous in the evening rush. "Miss Carter." Jasmine spins around. A well-dressed Korean man approaches them. Mid-30s, kind eyes, expensive watch. Everything about him radiates calm authority. "My name is Kang Dae-ho," he said. "We need to talk." Jasmine felt terror flood her system. She pulls Amara behind her. "Stay away from us. Someone dangerous is looking for you. Someone who means harm to you and your daughter." "I don't know what you're talking about." Dae-ho's voice was gentle but firm. "Marcus Hill, your ex-partner. He's in Seoul. The subway platform tilts under Jasmine's feet. Marcus, here. The nightmare she's run from for 6 months has finally caught up. How do you know that name? My employer has been watching, waiting. He wants to help. We don't need help. Jasmine grabs Amara's hand and pushes through the crowd, away from Deho, away from his calm voice and expensive clothes, away from the confirmation of her worst fears. Miss Carter, Deho's voice carries over the subway noise. He knows where you live. Jasmine stops walking. The crowd flows around them while her world crumbles. Marcus knows where they live, where Amara goes to school, where they work. All their careful planning, all their caution, none of it mattered. What do you want? She calls back. My employer wants to meet with you tonight to discuss protection. Protection from who? From the man who's been watching your apartment building since yesterday morning. Jasmine felt her knees go weak. Someone has been watching them, following them, planning. She thinks of Amara sleeping peacefully last night, vulnerable, trusting that her mother could keep her safe. I need to think about it. Think quickly, Deho said. Marcus Hill isn't a patient man. That evening, Jasmine triple-checks every lock in their apartment, pushes the couch against the front door, closes every curtain. She and Amara eat dinner on the floor of the bathroom because it has no windows. Are we hiding? Amara whispers. Yes, baby, we're hiding. From the bad man. Jasmine felt tears sting her eyes. Amara remembers Marcus, remembers why they had to leave, remembers being afraid. Yes, from the bad man. That night, Jasmine doesn't sleep. She sits by their bedroom window and watches the street below. At midnight, she sees a man smoking cigarettes under a streetlight. He stays there until dawn. Marcus has found them. At 6 a.m., her phone rings. Unknown number. Hello, Jasmine. The voice is calm, deep, distinctly male with a slight accent. Not Marcus. Someone else entirely. Who is this? Someone who can help. Meet me tonight at the address I'm sending you. Come alone. I'm not going anywhere with strangers. Then stay and wait for Marcus to break down your door. Your choice. The line goes dead. A text arrives seconds later with an address in Gangnam, expensive district, corporate buildings, not the kind of place where people disappear. Jasmine stares at her phone until the screen goes dark. She has two choices. Trust a stranger who might be dangerous, or stay and wait for Marcus, who definitely is. Her hands shake as she dials her elderly neighbor's number. Mrs. Park, it's Jasmine. I have an emergency tonight. Can you watch Amara? The address leads to a glass tower overlooking the Han River, 30 floors of offices and corporate power. Jasmine feels small in the marble lobby. Out of place in her coffee shop uniform and worn shoes, Miss Carter, a security guard, approaches. 28th floor. Someone is waiting. The elevator ride feels endless. Jasmine's reflection stares back from polished steel doors. Pale face, dark circles under her eyes. She looks exhausted, frightened. Exactly what she is. The 28th floor contains a single office. Floor-to-ceiling windows show the city sparkling below. Seoul at night, beautiful and dangerous and full of secrets. A man sits behind a massive desk, Korean, early 30s, handsome in a coldly controlled way. What captures Jasmine's attention is the wheelchair. Expensive, medical grade, built for someone who will never walk again. Miss Carter, please sit. His voice is the same one from the phone call, calm, authoritative, completely unreadable. Jasmine felt her courage waver. Who are you? Yoon Seojin. I knew your mother. The words hit harder than any threat Marcus ever made. Jasmine's mother died when she was 15. Cancer, quick and brutal and final. That's impossible. Sarah Carter. She worked at a clinic in Itaewon, treated patients who couldn't go to regular hospitals. Gang members. Criminals. People like me. Jasmine's breath caught. Her mother never mentioned treating criminals, never talked about the clinic work beyond saying it helped people who needed help. She saved my life once, Seojin said quietly. I owe her a debt. My mother is dead. You don't owe her anything. I owe her everything. Which means I owe you protection. Seojin's eyes find hers, dark and serious, and completely focused. Marcus Hill arrived in Seoul 3 days ago. He's been tracking you, watching you, planning. How do you know this? Because I've been watching him watch you. The admission should be terrifying. Instead, Jasmine felt something shift in her chest. Relief. Someone else knows about Marcus. Someone else understands the danger. What does he want? You, the child, control over the life you tried to take from him. Jasmine's throat tightens. He'll never stop looking. No, he won't. Something in Seojin's voice makes her look at him more closely. His hands rest calmly on his wheelchair arms. His expression reveals nothing, but his eyes hold a kind of controlled anger that makes her shiver. What are you suggesting? Come under my protection. You and your daughter, until the threat is eliminated. You mean until Marcus is dead? I mean until you're safe. The distinction feels important somehow. Jasmine studies Seojin's face for signs of deception, for cruelty, for the kind of violence Marcus always carried just beneath the surface. She finds nothing but patience, cold control, the sense that he could wait forever for her answer. I don't even know who you are. I run a security business, corporate protection, personal safety, discreet problem-solving. You're talking about crime. I'm talking about keeping you alive. Jasmine felt trapped between two impossible choices. Trust a stranger who admits to criminal connections, or face Marcus alone with nothing but locks and fear to protect Amara. What would protection look like? Secure housing, personal security, new identities if necessary, everything required to ensure your safety and your daughter's. And in return, nothing. This is a debt, not a transaction. Jasmine's hands clench in her lap. I need time to think. You don't have time. Seojin reaches into his desk drawer and produces a manila envelope. He slides it across the polished surface. Open it. Inside are photographs. Jasmine and Amara walking to school. Jasmine working at the coffee shop, their apartment building. All taken from a distance with expensive equipment. The last photo shows Marcus sitting in a car outside their building, watching, waiting, planning. These were taken yesterday, Seojin said quietly. Jasmine felt nauseous. All day she's been watched, followed, studied. Marcus knows everything about their new life, their routines, their vulnerabilities. He's going to take her, she whispers. Yes, probably tonight. The words hit harder than any physical blow. Jasmine thinks of Amara sleeping peacefully at Mrs. Park's apartment, safe for now. But morning will come, and Marcus will be waiting. What do you want me to do? Seojin pulls out a legal document, multiple pages of dense text and official stamps. Sign this. It grants me temporary guardianship authority over you and your daughter, legal protection under Korean law. Guardianship. It means Marcus can't touch you without going through me first, and my lawyers, and my security team, and anyone else I choose to put between him and you. Jasmine stares at the document until the words blur. Signing means trusting a stranger completely, means admitting she can't protect Amara alone, means accepting help from someone who might be more dangerous than Marcus. But not signing means Amara remains vulnerable, means running again, means living in fear until Marcus eventually catches them. I need guarantees, she said finally. Just name them. Amara's safety comes first, always, no matter what. Agreed. If I want to leave, you let us go. No arguments, no complications. Something shifts in Seojin's expression. Agreed. And I need to know who you really are. Not just security business, not just debt to my mother. The truth. Seojin's voice was quiet when he answers. I run the largest protection organization in Seoul. Some people call it organized crime. I call it providing services the government can't or won't provide. You're a criminal. I'm a businessman who operates outside conventional law. There's a difference. Jasmine felt fear and relief war in her chest. Fear of trusting someone who admits to criminal activity. Relief that someone with real power wants to help. Then why should I trust you? Because I'm the only thing standing between Marcus and your daughter. The simple honesty of it cuts through all her doubts. Seojin isn't promising to be good, isn't pretending to be a hero. He's offering practical protection from a practical threat. Jasmine picks up the pen with shaking hands. Wait. Seojin's voice stops her. Once you sign, there's no going back to your old life. Marcus will never stop looking. Even after this threat ends, you'll need to stay careful, stay protected, stay connected to people who can keep you safe. Are you trying to talk me out of this? I'm making sure you understand the cost. Jasmine thinks of Amara's silent face, her trust, Her need for safety and stability, the way she flinches when strangers approach, the nightmares she still has about Marcus. The cost of not signing is higher. She writes her name in careful letters. Jasmine Carter, the signature that changes everything. Seojin takes the document and places it in his desk. Daeho will take you to collect your daughter, then bring you both somewhere safe. Where? My home. As if summoned, Daeho appears in the office doorway, the same well-dressed man from the subway station. He nods respectfully to Seojin. Take care of them, Seojin said quietly. Yes, sir. Jasmine stands to leave, then turns back. What happens to Marcus? Seojin's expression doesn't change. He'll be handled. Meaning? Meaning you'll never have to fear him again. The words should comfort her. Instead, they make her wonder what kind of man she's just trusted with her daughter's life, what kind of protection requires handling threats permanently. But as Daeho escorts her to the elevator, Jasmine feels something she hasn't experienced in months. Hope. For the first time since leaving Marcus, someone else is taking responsibility for keeping them safe. The elevator doors close with a soft mechanical sound. Seojin disappears behind polished steel, and Jasmine's old life ends forever. The penthouse elevator opens with a whisper of expensive machinery. Jasmine steps into a world of glass and steel that feels more fortress than home. Floor-to-ceiling windows show souls stretched endlessly below. City lights twinkle against the darkness. This way, Daeho said quietly. Amara clutches Jasmine's hand as they walk through the main living area. Everything is pristine, modern, cold. The furniture looks untouched. Art hangs on walls, but provides no warmth. Jasmine felt overwhelmed by the sheer size of the space. Their entire apartment could fit in this single room. Your rooms are down this hall, Daeho continues. Mr. Hyeon wanted you to be comfortable. 2 bedrooms connected by a shared bathroom, king-sized beds with pristine white linens, closets bigger than their kitchen back home, everything perfectly arranged and completely impersonal. Where is he? Jasmine asks. Mr. Yun retires early. You'll see him tomorrow morning. Daeho hands her a keycard and a cell phone. This opens every door you're authorized to access. The phone reaches security if you need anything. Authorized access. Some areas are restricted, for safety reasons. Jasmine felt a chill that has nothing to do with the air conditioning. Safety or control. She's beginning to understand the difference might be smaller than Seojin suggested. After Daeho leaves, she helps Amara get ready for bed. The little girl explores her new room with wide eyes, touches the soft comforter, tests the lights, peers out the massive windows at the city below. Do we live here now? Amara asks quietly. For a while. It's very big. Yes, it is. Jasmine tucks Amara into the enormous bed, reads her a story from one of the books they grabbed from their apartment, sings the lullaby about birds finding safety. Mommy? Amara's voice is small in the darkness. Yes, baby. Is the bad man coming here? Jasmine felt her throat tighten. No, he can't reach us here. Promise? I promise. The lie comes easily, too easily. Jasmine isn't sure she can promise anything anymore. Morning arrives with grey light filtering through floor-to-ceiling windows. Jasmine wakes to unfamiliar sounds, traffic far below, the hum of expensive machinery, the whisper of central air. Amara sleeps peacefully in her new bed, more peacefully than she's slept in months. Something about this place calms her, makes her feel safe in ways their cramped apartment never could. Jasmine found the kitchen by following the scent of coffee. Seojin sits at a massive dining table, reading news on a tablet. He wears simple clothes, dark sweater, jeans. Without the suit, he looks younger, more approachable. Good morning, he said without looking up. Thank you, for the rooms, for everything. How did you sleep? Better than expected. Seojin's voice was neutral. There's food in the refrigerator, coffee in the machine. Help yourself to anything you need. Jasmine explores the kitchen while he continues reading. Everything is top quality. Professional appliances, expensive finishes. A refrigerator stocked with fresh food and ingredients she hasn't seen in months. This is too much, she said quietly. It's what I have. Use it. Amara appears in the doorway, still wearing her pajamas. She stares at Seojin with curious eyes. No fear, no hesitation, just the frank interest of a child meeting someone new. Good morning, Amara, Seojin said gently. Amara waves but doesn't speak. She slides into the chair beside him and reaches for an apple from the fruit bowl, takes a big bite and swings her legs contentedly. Jasmine felt something shift in her chest. Surprise. Relief. Amara hasn't been this relaxed around a stranger since before Marcus, since before everything went wrong. She doesn't talk much, Jasmine explains. Children talk when they have something to say. The doctors think it's trauma from what we left behind. Seojin looks at Amara with gentle eyes. Trauma heals when the child feels safe enough to let it. Something in his voice suggests personal knowledge, experience with healing from terrible things. Jasmine wonders what scars hide beneath his controlled exterior. They eat breakfast in comfortable silence. Amara finishes her apple and reaches for toast. Jasmine drinks coffee that tastes better than anything she's had in months. Seojin continues reading his tablet with calm focus. I need to establish some guidelines, he said eventually. Jasmine's stomach tightens, such as security protocols, areas of the penthouse that are off limits, rules about leaving the building. Rules. You're under my protection now. That means following my security measures. Jasmine felt anger flare in her chest. I didn't agree to being controlled. You agreed to being protected. Protection requires structure. And if I don't like your structure, Seojin's eyes find hers across the table, dark and serious and completely unreadable. Then you're free to leave, but you can't take my protection with you. The choice is stark and simple. Accept his authority or face Marcus alone. Jasmine hates how trapped she feels, how dependent on someone she barely knows. What kind of rules? Daiho or one of his team accompanies you anywhere outside this building. No contact with people from your previous life without approval. No sharing details about this location or our security measures. You want me to be a prisoner. I want you to stay alive. Amara looks between them with wide eyes, sensing tension she doesn't understand. Jasmine forces herself to stay calm for her daughter's sake. And if I refuse, then you make my job harder, but I'll still protect you. Something in Seojin's voice surprises her. Patience. Understanding. He isn't trying to control her out of ego or power. He's trying to keep her safe within the limits of what's possible. How long will this last? Until Marcus is no longer a threat. And how long will that be? Seojin's expression doesn't change. As long as it takes. The days that follow establish a routine. Mornings in the kitchen with coffee and breakfast. Afternoons exploring different areas of the massive penthouse. Evenings playing games or reading while Seojin works quietly at his desk. Jasmine learns the layout gradually. Main living areas open to everyone. Seojin's private office behind locked doors. A room at the end of the hall that stays sealed. Security monitors hidden throughout the space. She also learns about the people who protect them. Daiho and his team rotate shifts, professional, quiet, always present but never intrusive. They nod respectfully when she passes. Answer questions with careful politeness. They're very loyal, she observes one evening. Seojin looks up from his laptop. Loyalty is earned. How did you earn theirs? By protecting the people they care about. The simple answer reveals more than elaborate explanations would. These aren't hired soldiers. They're people who believe in what Seojin does, who trust him with things that matter. Jasmine felt her understanding of him shift slightly. Criminal, yes, but also protector, leader, someone others choose to follow. A week passes before the first real conflict emerges. I want to go to work, Jasmine announces over breakfast. Seojin's coffee cup pauses halfway to his lips. That's not possible. I can't just sit here doing nothing. I need to work, to earn money, to feel useful. You're safe here. That's what matters. Jasmine felt frustration bubble over. Safety isn't enough. I need purpose, independence, some piece of my own life. Your independence is what put you in danger. The words hit harder than he probably intended. Jasmine's breath catches. Her hands clench around her coffee mug. My independence is what got me away from Marcus in the first place, and brought him to Seoul looking for you. So this is my fault. Seojin's voice was careful. This is reality. Marcus followed you here. He's hunting you. Going back to normal life isn't an option. Amara stops eating and looks between them. Her eyes are wide and worried. Jasmine forces herself to lower her voice. I can't live in a cage. Even a beautiful one. Better a cage than a grave. The brutal honesty silences her. Seojin isn't being cruel. He's being practical about dangers she's still learning to understand. "How do you live this way?" she asks quietly, carefully. That evening, thunder rolls across Seoul. Rain pounds against the massive windows. Amara sits between Jasmine and Seojin during dinner, looking small and nervous. Lightning flashes. Thunder answers immediately. Close. Loud. Shaking the building slightly. Amara flinches and reaches instinctively for the nearest hand. Seojin's hand. Jasmine felt her breath catch. Amara hasn't sought comfort from a man since Marcus, has barely tolerated male strangers, but something about Seojin feels safe to her, trustworthy. Seojin doesn't move, doesn't speak, just lets Amara hold his hand while the storm passes outside. His expression softens minutely, almost imperceptibly, but Jasmine notices. "She likes you," Jasmine whispers. "Children sense things adults miss." What kinds of things? Whether someone means them harm. After dinner, Amara falls asleep on the couch while they watch television. Seojin carries her to bed without being asked, tucks her in gently, adjusts the nightlight so it casts gentle shadows on the wall. "You're good with her." Seojin's voice was quiet. "I had practice once." "Practice?" Something shudders in his expression. "Kasi, it was a long time ago." Jasmine felt curiosity mix with caution. Everyone has secrets. Everyone has pain. But something about Seojin's careful control suggests wounds deeper than most. "Do you have children?" "No." The single word carries weight, finality, the kind of answer that closes conversations rather than opening them. Late that night, Jasmine wanders the penthouse halls. Sleep eluded her. Too many thoughts. Too many questions about the man protecting them, about the life they've entered, about the future that feels increasingly uncertain. She finds herself in front of the locked room at the end of the hall, the one area Seojin never mentioned, never explained, never authorized her to access. The key card in her pocket shouldn't work. Daeho said some areas are restricted, but curiosity wins over caution. She slides the card through the reader. The lock clicks open. Inside, the room is small and intimate, personal in ways the rest of the penthouse isn't. Photographs line the walls. A woman, young, beautiful, pregnant, smiling at someone behind the camera with absolute love and trust. Jasmine felt her throat tighten. The woman in every photo glows with happiness, with anticipation, with the kind of joy that comes from building a life with someone you love completely. A shrine sits in the corner. Candles, flowers, baby clothes that were never worn, a wheelchair exactly like Seojin's current one, but this chair is damaged, twisted metal, bullet holes, stained with something dark that might be blood. Her hands shake as she backs toward the door. This is private, sacred, pain too deep for strangers to witness. "You shouldn't be here." Seojin's voice from the doorway makes her jump. He sits in his wheelchair, expression unreadable, not angry, not hurt. Just tired in ways that go beyond physical exhaustion. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude." "But you did." Jasmine felt shame flood her chest. The door was unlocked. "I was curious." "Curiosity doesn't justify violation." He wheels past her into the room, touches one of the photographs gently. The gesture is tender, reverent, full of love that survived loss. "Her name was Soo-jin," he said quietly. "My wife." Jasmine felt her breath catch, past tense. The photographs, the shrine, the damaged wheelchair. Understanding hits harder than any physical blow. "She's dead. 5 years ago, along with our unborn son." "I'm so sorry." Seojin continues touching photographs with careful fingers. "She was 8 months pregnant. We were going to name the baby Min-jun. She had already decorated his nursery. What happened? Revenge. Against me. Against my business. Against everything I represented to people who wanted me dead." His voice was steady but hollow. The careful control of someone who has told this story before, who has lived with this pain long enough to speak about it without breaking. "They ambushed our car coming home from the hospital. A routine appointment. She was complaining about being tired, about her back hurting, normal pregnancy things." Jasmine felt tears sting her eyes. She can imagine the scene. Young couple excited about their growing family, planning for the future, believing love could protect them from the world's cruelty. "The bullets were meant for me. I was supposed to die with them. But the wheelchair," he gestures to the twisted metal in the corner, "it saved my life." kept me low enough to avoid the worst of it. And they died protecting you. They died because of me, because I thought I could have both, the business and the family, the power and the peace. Something shifts in Seojin's expression, not quite tears, not quite anger, something deeper and more complicated. I haven't let anyone close since then, haven't risked caring about people who could be hurt, because they matter to me. Jasmine understands now, the careful distance, the controlled emotions, the penthouse that feels more fortress than home. He's not cold by nature. He's protecting himself from loving people he might lose. But you're protecting us because I owed your mother, not because I chose to care. The distinction matters to him. Duty feels safer than affection. Obligation requires less emotional investment than love. And now, Seojin looks at her across the small room. His eyes hold something she hasn't seen before. Uncertainty, vulnerability, the first crack in his careful control. Now I'm not sure the difference matters anymore. The admission hangs between them. Too honest, too revealing, too much like the beginning of something neither of them expected. Jasmine's phone buzzes with a text. Unknown number. Her blood freezes as she reads the message. Found your teddy bear, little girl. Daddy misses you both. Attached is a photo. Amara's favorite stuffed animal. The one they left behind when they ran from Marcus. The one that should be thousands of miles away in their old apartment. He's here, Jasmine whispers. Seojin takes the phone and studies the message. His expression hardens into something cold and dangerous. The vulnerable man from moments before disappears behind armor. Dai-ho, he calls quietly. Dai-ho appears immediately, always nearby, always ready. How did he get past building security? He didn't. This was delivered to the front gate 20 minutes ago. No one saw who left it. Seojin's jaw tightens. Kai knows where we are. How is that possible? Jasmine asks. Someone talked. Someone who shouldn't have access to information about our location. The implications terrify her. If Marcus found them once, he can find them again. Nowhere is safe. No amount of security can protect them if information leaks. What do we do? Seojin wheels toward the door. We relocate. Tonight. To where? Somewhere he'll never think to look. 3 hours later, they're driving through Seoul's empty streets. Amara sleeps in Jasmine's arms while Daeho navigates unfamiliar neighborhoods. Everything they own fits in 2 small bags. Where are we going? Jasmine asks quietly. Home, Seojin said from the front passenger seat. I thought the penthouse was your home. That was an office. This is different. They stop in front of a traditional Korean house. Hanok-style architecture surrounded by high walls and electronic gates. Beautiful. Historic. Hidden in plain sight among similar houses in an old neighborhood. No one knows about this place, Seojin explains as they enter. It's not registered to my name. Not connected to my business. Completely separate from anything Marcus could trace. The interior blends traditional design with modern security. Wooden floors and paper screens. Steel-reinforced doors and hidden cameras. Beauty and protection seamlessly integrated. This is where you really live. This is where I heal. Jasmine understands the distinction. The penthouse was for business, for the controlled public face he shows the world. This place is private, personal, the space where he can stop pretending to be invulnerable. They settle Amara in a bedroom overlooking a small garden. Traditional futon bed, soft lighting. The kind of peaceful environment that encourages rest and recovery. Why will we be safe here? Jasmine asks. Seojin's voice was certain. Safer than anywhere else in Seoul. But as she lies awake, listening to the old house settle around them, Jasmine wonders if anywhere is truly safe. Marcus has proven himself resourceful, determined, willing to cross oceans to reclaim what he believes belongs to him. And she's beginning to understand that safety might require sacrifices she's not sure she's ready to make. The first morning in the traditional house brings gentle sunlight through paper screens. Amara wakes early and explores the small garden with wonder. Koi fish swim in a tiny pond. Bamboo rustles in the morning breeze. It's beautiful here, she tells Seojin over breakfast. My grandmother's house, he explains. She raised me after my parents died. Is she? Dead. 10 years ago. Natural causes. Old age and a life well lived. Jasmine felt the sadness in his voice. Loss layered upon loss. Everyone he's loved has died or been taken from him. I'm sorry. She would have liked you. Both of you. She believed children brought life to old houses. They settle into a different routine, quieter, more intimate. The traditional house encourages closeness in ways the penthouse never could. Shared meals around a low table, evening tea in the garden. Simple domesticity that feels almost normal. Almost. Because Marcus is still out there, still searching, still planning, and Jasmine knows their peace is temporary. Borrowed time before the next crisis forces them to run again. But for now, in this moment, they're safe, protected by walls and tradition, and a man who has lost everything but refuses to let history repeat itself. Jasmine watches Seojin helping Amara feed the fish and feels something dangerous growing in her chest. Not gratitude, not obligation, something warmer and more complicated, something that might be the beginning of love. 3 weeks pass in the traditional house before everything changes. Jasmine wakes each morning to the sound of bamboo rustling outside her window. She makes coffee while Seojin reads news on his tablet. Amara feeds the fish before breakfast. Simple routines that feel increasingly precious. She's speaking more, Jasmine observes one morning. Amara chatters quietly to the koi fish, telling them about her dreams, about the birds she sees in the garden, about feeling safe enough to use her voice again. Children heal when they feel protected, Seojin said quietly. So do adults. Their eyes meet across the breakfast table. Something passes between them. Understanding. Acknowledgement of what's growing despite all their efforts to keep things simple. Jasmine felt her heart skip. Dangerous territory. Caring for someone who lives in constant danger, who has already lost everything once. I need to check security reports, Seojin said, wheeling away from the table, always retreating when moments become too intimate, too revealing, too much like the beginning of something real. That afternoon, Amara discovers origami paper in Seojin's study. He shows her how to fold cranes, how to create beauty from simple materials. His hands are patient and gentle as he guides her small fingers. Why cranes? Amara asks. They represent hope, healing, new beginnings. Like us? Seojin's voice was soft. Like you and your mother. Yes. Jasmine watches from the doorway. Her chest tightens with something stronger than gratitude, deeper than appreciation. Seojin treats Amara with tenderness that comes naturally, unconsciously, as though protecting children is written into his bones. Mommy feels safe with you, Amara announces suddenly. Both adults freeze. Jasmine's breath catches. Seojin's hands still over the origami paper. The simple statement carries weight neither expected. Does she? Seojin asks carefully. Yes, she doesn't check the locks anymore. She doesn't jump when doors open. She sleeps all night without waking up. Jasmine felt exposed, vulnerable. Amara sees everything, understands more than any 7-year-old should about fear and safety, and the difference between them. That's good, Seojin said quietly. Everyone deserves to feel safe. Do you feel safe? The question surprises him. Children's honesty always does. They ask things adults dance around, cut straight to truths that matter. I feel hopeful? Because of us? Because of you and your mother, yes. Something shifts in the air between them. Acknowledgement of what's been building for weeks. What neither has been willing to name or claim or risk destroying. That evening brings the first spring storm. Rain pounds against traditional roof tiles. Wind rattles paper screens. Amara curls between Jasmine and Seojin on the couch, watching lightning illuminate the garden. Will the fish be okay? Amara asks. The pond is deep enough to protect them, Seojin explains. Sometimes storms make things stronger. Like people. Like people. Jasmine felt something warm spread through her chest. This feels like family, like belonging, like the kind of safety she thought only existed in dreams. The storm intensifies after midnight. Jasmine lies awake listening to rain and wind and the comforting sounds of the old house settling around them. For the first time in months, her mind is quiet, peaceful, free from the constant vigilance that has defined her life, maybe too quiet. Her phone buzzes with a text at 2 a.m. Marcus, playing house won't save you. Time to come home. Attached is a photo that stops her heart. The traditional house, taken from outside the walls, recent, tonight. Marcus has found them again. Jasmine runs to Seojin's room without thinking, bursts through the door while he's transferring from wheelchair to bed, vulnerable, caught between mobility devices. He knows where we are. Seojin takes her phone with steady hands, studies the photo. His expression hardens into something cold and lethal. When was this sent? 2 minutes ago. Daeho. He calls quietly, but with absolute authority. Daeho appears within seconds. Security training evident in his speed and alertness. Perimeter breach. Unknown photographer. Lock down everything. Yes, sir. And prepare for immediate evacuation. Sir, this location is compromised. We leave in 10 minutes. Jasmine felt panic flood her system. Where will we go? If he found us here, he can find us anywhere. Not anywhere. Something in Seojin's voice stops her questions. Finality. Decision. The sound of a man who has run out of places to hide and chosen to make a stand instead. They wake Amara gently, pack only essentials, move through the house with practiced efficiency, born of too much experience running from danger. Are we hiding again? Amara asks sleepily. No, baby, Jasmine whispers. We're done hiding. The safe house Daeho drives them to sits in the mountains outside Seoul, remote, fortified. The kind of place designed for final confrontations rather than temporary shelter. This ends tonight, Seojin said as they settle in. What do you mean? Marcus made this personal when he threatened you. Threatened her. He crossed lines that can't be uncrossed. Jasmine felt fear and relief war in her chest. Fear of what ending it might require. Relief that the running and hiding might finally stop. What are you going to do? What I should have done weeks ago. Dawn brings grey sky and steady rain. Amara sleeps deeply in a secure bedroom while Jasmine and Seojin drink coffee and wait for updates from the city. He'll come for us here, Jasmine said quietly. I'm counting on it. And if something happens to you? Seojin's eyes find hers, dark and serious, and completely focused. Daeho has instructions. You and Amara will be protected regardless. That's not what I'm asking. What are you asking? Jasmine felt tears threaten. What happens to us? To this? To whatever we've been building? We're not building anything. I'm protecting you. That's all. The denial sounds hollow, unconvincing. A lie they both recognize, but only she's willing to challenge. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't care. Seojin meets her gaze steadily, opens his mouth to speak, then closes it without saying anything. The silence speaks louder than words. That's what I thought. The attack comes at noon. Jasmine is helping Amara with lunch when gunfire erupts outside. Automatic weapons. Multiple shooters. The coordinated assault of professionals. We're down, Seojin snaps. They drop to the floor while bullets shatter windows, tear through walls, fill the air with splinters and dust and the sharp smell of gunpowder. Daeho and his team return fire from defensive positions, but they're outnumbered, outgunned, fighting to buy time rather than win decisively. The safe room, Seojin calls over the noise. Where? Behind the bookshelf. Code is Amara's birthday. They crawl across the floor while combat rages around them. Jasmine shields Amara with her body, prays to gods she doesn't believe in for just a few more minutes of life. The safe room is small and steel-lined, designed to withstand direct assault. They lock themselves inside while the battle continues outside. Mommy, I'm scared, Amara whispers. Me too, baby, but we're together, and Mr. Seojin will keep us safe. Promise? Jasmine looks at Seojin's face in the emergency lighting, sees determination, resolve, love disguised as duty. I promise. The gunfire stops suddenly. Complete silence. More terrifying than noise. Seojin's radio crackles. Boss? You need to come out, he wants to talk. Marcus here, in control. Everything they feared has happened. Stay here, Seojin said quietly. No, if you go out there, he'll kill you. If I don't go out there, he'll kill all of us. Seojin opens the safe room door, wheels into the destroyed main room where Marcus waits with 3 armed men. Calm, confident, holding all the cards. Yoon Seojin. Finally we meet. Marcus is exactly what Jasmine expected. Tall, handsome, charming smile hiding cruelty. The kind of man who believes the world owes him everything. Let them go, Seojin said simply. I don't think you're in a position to make demands. They're not part of this. Your problem is with me, Marcus laughs. My problem is with the woman who stole my daughter, who turned my child against me, who thought she could hide behind criminals and gangsters. She's not your property. Everything about her belongs to me, her body, her mind, her daughter's future. All of it mine by right. Jasmine felt nauseous hearing Marcus talk about ownership, about rights to people who chose to leave him, about Amara as property rather than a person. "You're wrong," Seojin said calmly. "Am I? Then where is she? Why isn't she defending herself? Because she's smart enough to let people who care about her handle threats." Something in Marcus's expression shifts. Anger replacing amusement. "Care about her? You mean fuck her, use her, enjoy my leftovers?" Seojin's voice was dangerously quiet. "Watch your mouth. Or what? You'll shoot me from your wheelchair, fight me with your crippled legs. I don't need legs to kill you." The promise hangs in the air. Cold. Certain, absolutely believable. Marcus signals his men. "Bring them out, all of them." "No," Seojin said firmly. "I wasn't asking." Two of Marcus's men drag Daeho into the room, beaten, bleeding, barely conscious. The third man holds a gun to his head. "Bring me my family, or your loyal dog dies." Seojin's jaw tightens. Impossible choice. Save Daeho and expose Jasmine and Amara to Marcus, or protect them and watch a good man die for his loyalty. 10 seconds, Marcus said cheerfully. "Wait." Jasmine steps out of the safe room with Amara behind her. She couldn't let someone die protecting them. Couldn't hide while good people paid the price for her freedom. There she is. Marcus's smile is predatory, triumphant. "My beautiful runaway wife. Ex-wife. We're divorced. Paper doesn't change reality. You belong to me. You always will." Amara presses against Jasmine's side. Silent, terrified. Everything about Marcus that she ran from condensed into this moment. "She's scared of you," Seojin observed quietly. "She'll learn to obey. Children always do. Not this child. Not anymore." Something in Seojin's voice makes Marcus look at him more closely, sees something that makes his confidence waver slightly. "You think you love them. You think this is some romantic rescue story. I think you're a coward who hurts women and children because you're too weak to face equals." Marcus's face twists with rage. "I'll show you weak." He pulls a gun from his jacket, points it directly at Amara. "Say goodbye to Daddy's little girl." Everything happens in seconds. Seojin wheels forward faster than should be possible, grabs Marcus's gun hand, twists hard enough to break bones. The weapon discharges into the ceiling. Marcus screams and stumbles backward. His men raise their weapons but hesitate, too close together, too much risk of hitting their boss. Daeho breaks free from his captors. Jasmine grabs Amara and dives behind overturned furniture. Gunfire erupts again but controlled, precise. Seojin's men returning to positions they never really abandoned. The battle lasts 90 seconds. When silence falls, Marcus lies motionless on the floor. His men are dead or surrendering. Daeho is wounded but alive. Seojin wheels to where Jasmine and Amara hide. His hands shake slightly as he reaches for them. "It's over," he said quietly. Jasmine looks at Marcus's body, really looks, confirms what her mind struggles to accept. He's dead. He'll never hurt you again. She should feel guilty, horrified, saddened by the loss of human life. Instead, she feels only relief, deep, clean, final. "Are you hurt?" Seojin asks. "No, we're okay." But Amara is crying, silent tears streaming down her small face. Too much violence, too much fear, too much adult cruelty for any child to process. "Hey," Seojin said gently. "Look at me." Amara meets his eyes, trusting despite everything she's just witnessed. "The bad man can't hurt you anymore, ever. I promise." "You promise." "I promise, and I keep my promises." Amara launches herself into his arms, clings to him desperately while sobs shake her small frame. All the fear and trauma of months pouring out in great gasping cries. Seojin holds her carefully, rocks gently back and forth, whispers reassurances in Korean that she doesn't understand but feels anyway. Jasmine watches them and feels her heart break open. Not with pain, with love. Pure and simple and undeniable. She loves him, completely, irrevocably. The man who saved them, who protected them, who killed for them without hesitation or regret. Later, after the police leave and the bodies are removed and statements are given, they sit in what remains of the safe house. Amara sleeps peacefully in Seojin's arms, exhausted by fear and relief, and the simple comfort of feeling safe. "What happens now?" Jasmine asks quietly. "Now you're free. free to go wherever you want, be whoever you want, start over completely. And you? I go back to my life, my business, my careful isolation. Jasmine felt panic flutter in her chest. Just like that, you save us and disappear. That was always the plan. Plans change. Not mine. She stands and moves closer to him, close enough to see the exhaustion in his eyes, the relief, the love he's trying so hard to deny. Look at me and tell me you don't care. Jasmine, tell me this meant nothing. Tell me we meant nothing. Tell me you can walk away from us without looking back. Seojin's voice was barely a whisper. I can't. Why? Because I love you, both of you, and love makes people vulnerable, makes them targets, makes them die. The confession hits harder than Marcus's threats ever did. Raw honesty, fear disguised as wisdom, the truth that explains everything about his careful distance. Love also makes people fight, makes them survive, makes them stronger. I failed once before. You didn't fail. You were betrayed by people who wanted to hurt you. There's a difference. Jasmine reaches for his face, touches his cheek gently, feels him tremble at the contact. I was so afraid, he whispers. Of what? Of caring about you, of letting you matter, of losing you the way I lost them. But you cared anyway. I couldn't help it. She leans down and kisses him. Soft, gentle, full of love and gratitude and promise. He kisses her back with desperate intensity, months of careful control finally breaking. When they separate, his eyes are bright with unshed tears. I don't know how to do this, he admits. Do what? Love people, trust happiness, believe in futures. Jasmine smiles through her own tears. We'll learn together. Epilogue. 6 months later, Jasmine wakes to sunlight streaming through the windows of their new home. Not the penthouse, not the traditional house. Something in between, safe but warm, protected but welcoming. Seojin sleeps beside her, peaceful in ways he never was during those first dangerous weeks. Recovery has softened his edges slightly, made room for gentleness alongside strength. Amara's laughter drifts from the kitchen. She's probably feeding the fish again. They moved the koi pond from his grandmother's house, created continuity, connection to beauty and tradition and hope. Good morning, Seojin said quietly. Good morning. They lie together watching dust motes dance in morning light. Simple domestic peace, the kind they fought for, earned, protected with everything they had. The business meeting is at 10, he reminds her. I know. Jasmine has become his partner in more than love. The legitimate security consulting firm they're building together combines his expertise with her instinct for helping people, protection without crime, safety through legal means. Nervous, excited, they dress together with easy familiarity. 6 months of shared mornings, shared meals, shared responsibility for Amara's happiness and healing, family built by choice rather than blood. In the kitchen, Amara chatters constantly while making origami cranes. Her voice fills the space with joy, with normalcy, with the sound of a child who feels safe enough to be heard. 1,000 cranes brings good luck, she announces. How many do you have? Seojin asks. 812, almost there. And what will you wish for when you reach 1,000? Amara considers this seriously. That we stay together forever. Jasmine felt tears threaten. Happy tears this time. The kind that come from having everything you never dared hope for. That sounds perfect, Seojin said softly. They eat breakfast as a family, plan their day, argue gently about weekend activities. All the ordinary negotiations of people who love each other and choose each other daily. Before leaving for the office, Seojin kisses Jasmine goodbye. Not desperate anymore, not fearful, just the gentle affection of a man who trusts in tomorrow. I love you, he whispers. I love you too. Amara hugs them both fiercely. See you tonight. Jasmine watches from the window as their car pulls away. Seojin drives now. Custom controls in a specially modified vehicle. Another step toward the normal life they're building together. Their house sits in a quiet neighborhood. Good schools nearby, parks for children to play safely, the kind of place where families grow old together, where love has room to flourish without fear. Inside, the koi fish swim lazy circles in their pond. 1,000 origami cranes hang from the ceiling in Amara's room. Photographs line the hallway showing their growing happiness, their healing, their hope. That evening, they gather around the dinner table again. Three people who found each other in darkness and chose to build light together. "How was your day?" Jasmine asks. "Good, productive. Better because I knew I was coming home to you." Amara reaches for both their hands. Family dinner. They sit connected across their small table, safe, loved, finally, completely home.